Hello everyone and welcome back to La Vida Fútbol book series. My name is Luis Laureano and I am a UEFA B licensed coach from California, currently living and coaching in Germany. So today I am excited to share with you the book Jürgen Klopp Biography by Elmar Neveling. So basically this book is essentially a biography telling Jürgen Klopp's road to Liverpool. So let's get started. So the book starts off on a bit of an apex. It starts off talking about the excitement that was going on at the end of the 2010-2011 season in which Dortmund won the title. It talks about the crowds walking through the streets, the excitement that everybody's going through, and it also shares that on the next season, 2011-2012, Dortmund defend their Bundesliga title, and on top of that, get their first double in the club's history. So that is how the book begins, just to kind of give everybody that excitement that Jürgen Klopp brings with his character, with his charisma, with his personality, and with his way of being. After the introduction of the championship times and the excitement of the championship moments at Dortmund, the book goes into Jürgen Klopp's youth career as a player and essentially his transition into the professionals. So Jürgen Klopp is from a small village named Glatten in the German Black Forest. As you can see here, this is where it is located. So I am located in Hanover, Germany as of now, and this is the distance between Hanover and Glatten. Glatten is known for being a spa village, so that would be a place where people would go to kind of get away, relax, and have a little bit of peace of mind. A little bit of Klopp as a player in his youth career, as a youth 15 player, for example. Klopp was known as the captain. And so he was even at a young age, he was a bit of a leader. He pays a lot of respect and is very grateful to his father for being such one of his most demanding critics, and always expecting the best from Jürgen Klopp. And I think that's something that now Jürgen Klopp really appreciates and kind of works based on these type of values. And those expectations from his father are definitely some things that drive Jürgen Klopp to this day, really. During Jürgen Klopp's playing career as a youth player, kind of bounced around as a youth player, kind of transitioning into the professionals, and eventually ended up in Mainz. So he wasn't always the best player on a team. He wasn't known to be a very technical player, but he was a player that definitely was willing to learn. He was a player that was always excited about going to training, worked hard, put a lot of effort, and definitely had a lot of ideas. One of his most influential coaches, Wolfgang Frank, was one of the coaches that definitely influenced Jürgen Klopp a lot in regards to his football philosophy and his playing style and essentially knowledge about the game. What he said about Jürgen Klopp is that he was one of the most creative players mentally. He just kind of knew exactly what he wanted to do, and then mentions that his frustrations as a player came as a result of not being able to implement those things that he had in his head. So Klopp wasn't one of those technical players that can see the game and be able to perform exactly what he sees. He just wasn't technically gifted in that sense, but in form of understanding the game, reading the game, and being able to kind of instruct his teammates and others, that was a quality that Jürgen Klopp definitely had. And someone that would speak their mind and was very honest with their opinion and with what they felt was right. So that definitely compensated for whatever lack of technical ability he had. I mentioned the name Wolfgang Frank, and this was a coach that Jürgen Klopp had at Mainz, and this was a coach that taught that group a lot about football tactics, the structure and discipline required in the 4-4-2 formation. During this time, this is in the 90s, the early 90s. This was a time in which the sweeper and the libero was actually common and was regularly used, and Wolfgang Frank was somebody who went against that, did a 4-4-2, and implemented that with the Mainz group. And Wolfgang Frank is now known as the football professor, as he graduated many what we know as coaches now, Jürgen Klopp being one of them, who probably is one of the most successful from that group of individuals that Wolfgang Frank coached. As this is a channel for coaching and for coaching education, I think that's something that we as coaches should essentially strive for, right? We want to teach our players, we want to educate, those who we are instructing and teaching, and eventually hope that whatever we teach, that we pass it on to this group of individuals who can eventually develop it as their own thought, make some modifications, and then being able to kind of share that and teach others, right? So I think as a coach, that's something that we can definitely strive for, right? Being able to teach so well, or just good enough, so that the group that we're teaching or influencing, can then offer that knowledge to somebody else. So this 4-4-2 that the group of Mainz was learning was actually a structure that required a lot of discipline, required a lot of running, but it did not require a lot of technical knowledge and ability, right? I mean, the knowledge is being able to know what is correct, but being able to do it is another thing, right? So not being able to be the most technical player was not a problem with the system, because it required more to work as a team, to work as a unit, and being able to use that as an advantage. And that was one of the values that Jürgen Klopp learned from Wolfgang Frank, which is a value that is definitely used now by him. The book goes into the transition from Jürgen Klopp as a player to coach. When he did transition, it wasn't too difficult. Not that it was easy. At least the book mentions that Jürgen Klopp had a kind of smooth transition in regards to him, changing his mentality from player to coach. Because him as a player, as I mentioned earlier, he was always a leader and was always someone that was vocal, was okay with expressing his opinion, and was confident with what he thought, what he believed was right or wrong, and that essentially helped him transition, from being a player to a coach. So in regards to how he was going to play, he definitely continued the 4-4-2 tactics that he learned from Wolfgang Frank, and essentially improved them. Wolfgang Frank focused on making the other team make mistakes. And Jürgen Klopp took that idea and just improved it. So he started this what has been known now as the gegenpressing, something that was in the early 90s with Mainz was already being exposed, but did not get too much attention, and Jürgen Klopp just kind of exposed that to the world in a sense. So gegenpressing is this counter pressing, so putting so much pressure to the opponent that you make them make a mistake. Another thing that Jürgen Klopp implemented and kind of essentially improved, appreciating individual initiative. So he is someone that empowers his players, really can bring the best out of them, because he allows them to kind of make decisions on the pitch, right? If there are things, there's obviously a structure that they need to follow and a discipline that they need to, kind of follow through on in regards to how they're playing, what they're going to do. So tactically, there are things that players need to do and places they need to go. But he also allows them to make decisions. And if you guys watched the Champions League semifinal between Barcelona and Liverpool, you will see a perfect example of that in that last goal. That is something that Jürgen Klopp emphasized, and something that I think makes his teams strong and able to beat teams mentally, physically, and just a lot of the times just football wise. Okay, so let's take a look at Jürgen Klopp's football philosophy. We're gonna go down through these points. I'll just read them out loud to you guys. The first one is to differentiate between possession and opposition possession. First set up to be secure when not in possession, only then go on the offense. To have passion and fighting spirit, get stuck into every game, run hard and far to always have a free man ready to receive the ball in attack, to focus on group rather than individual tactics. The team needs to defend with discipline and as a unit with a high press in order to put early pressure on the opposition. To dominate play and possession instead of relying on counterattacks. To ensure fast transitions in both directions, balance between defense and attack. To play with vertical penetration, no sterile square passing but attacking, proactive play towards the opposition goal. To employ quick and direct one-touch combinations without holding onto the ball any longer than necessary, unsettling opposition defenses and provoking errors. Let's take a look at the next set of points. To control the movement of groups of players towards the ball in order to occupy the relevant zone of play and prevent the opposition from playing their game. To quickly win the ball through pressing and gegenpressing or counter-pressing, as we mentioned earlier. Pressing directly after losing possession in order to regain it. To replace injured or suspended players directly rather than changing the system or playing players out of position. Derived from these principles, Klopp's tactics make the following demands of his players. To think fast and act fast. Slower players tend to play backwards because they are afraid of one-on-one situations. To have incredible stamina, both physical and mental, full concentration and action is needed for the entire 90 minutes. To be technically proficient and be able to receive the accurately pass the ball at pace. To have tactical discipline while maintaining attacking intent predicated on flexibility. Players are not obliged to stay in their positions at all costs as long as they have cover to fill the gap. This is only possible with mutual trust. For fullbacks and wingbacks to have equally significant attacking as well as defensive roles, since they have to cover the full length of the pitch and put in repeated intensive sprints, they have to be incredibly fit. Unlike central defenders, they have little chance of attacking a break from play. So that was a bit of Jürgen Klopp's football philosophy. Obviously, it would be good for you guys to really dig in deep into what all those points really mean, and try to find your own examples if you really want to try to understand what that means. And essentially, just watching Jürgen Klopp coach his group and watch his group of players play, and you can see some of these points, in action. So I would definitely recommend that you guys go out and do that. So this book is really, it's really good. It's really exciting, and you get a thrill. I got a thrill from reading this book. There's a lot of emotion, and I think that just fits perfectly with Jürgen Klopp because he's a very, what I would consider, an emotional player. Meaning he's okay with breaking down into tears if something goes really bad or things don't go his way, or just from excitement, really. Someone that if you see on the touchline will be celebrating like if he were the one that scored the goal, for example, which in the bigger picture, when one scores, we all score. But the way he celebrates is just it's just amazing to see. And I think that's something that many people respect from Jürgen Klopp, is that he's very real, he's very honest, someone that is authentic. What you see is what you get with Klopp. So yeah, that's a bit about Jürgen Klopp, and I think that this book brings those type of emotions as you read, right? Because his story is a bit of a build-up with a lot of rough patches. Right, a lot of rough patches, and I think that's something that makes Jürgen Klopp so special, is that him going through what he's going through and what he has gone through as both player and coach, through all these ups and downs. One thing that he believes in is if you fall down once, you get up again. If you fall down 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you just continue to get up, and you try your best with what you have, and you move forward. So I think those are some messages that the book kind of delivers. But this is a great book for anybody who is a coach, because I think you have to really be okay with your experience. Everybody's going to have a different experience, and I think this book is essentially, or this biography is a great example of that. Jürgen Klopp was somebody that played in the second Bundesliga, right? And managed to kind of create exceptional teams, right? He was able to take minds from the second Bundesliga to the first, and then managed to get Dortmund from 10th place to a top tier and top international club. So he was able to do that, and the book, like I said, goes into the direction and his journey to Liverpool. But as we talk about this book, this is UEFA Champions League final weekend, 2019. We can see what he's done and what he's doing with Liverpool now. So that's it with the book. Normally I talk about some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like, and this book definitely had a lot of things that I did like. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was exciting. It was definitely up and down with pros or things that went well versus things that didn't go so hot. And it's really exciting to learn about these things, because it kind of gives you a human part of Jürgen Klopp, and you understand that there's going to be a lot that you're going to go through, at least in this crazy world of football, and beautiful world of football. There's so much that could happen, right? But it is crazy. It is crazy. So many things could kind of go your way, and it's it's up to us as coaches to kind of bounce back and do the best that we can. So I would definitely recommend the book. I would definitely recommend that you guys read it. I definitely recommend that you guys purchase it. I will link the book in the description section below. Feel free to hit that up and purchase that book. I will also link the other books that I have in the book series. That is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys read this book, and I hope you guys learn more about Jürgen Klopp. I'm pretty sure by now there's more, or there's a newer version of Jürgen Klopp, the bio, and I'm sure there's other books that are similar to this one by different authors. If I find some, I will definitely link those below for you guys as well. But yeah, remember to subscribe, guys. Remember to subscribe, hit like if you like the video, comment in the comment section below. Just let me know if you have any questions about the book, if you have any questions in regards to a different book. Also comment if you recommend any books for me to read. So I'm very open to reading different books and about different topics. I just found this one appropriate just because it's UEFA Champions League final weekend. Liverpool's in the final, so I found this one to be appropriate to kind of release at this time that I'm releasing it. But yeah, if you guys have any other books that you think we as a coaching community can benefit from, then go ahead and link that, or comment that in the comment section below, and I'll definitely be looking into all those recommendations from you guys. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.